Madhya Pradesh, the central state of India, is the most illuminated high point of the Indian culture. The stream of art in the form of folk music and dance flows naturally in the daily lives of the people and tribes here. The Vindhya and Satpura mountain ranges that are an origin to many rivers like Tapi, Narmada, Son, Chambal, Betwa, Mahanadi, etc. make this region an exotic, picturesque place. The state boasts of an ancient and primeval history that presents a lifestyle mainly based on the agriculture and natural resources like the jungles and forests. Gond, Bhil, Bega, Sahriya, Bharia and Banjara are the main tribes inhabiting the distant and scattered villages in this region of forests and mountains. Agriculture, the primary occupation here, is done in the most typical and traditional manner and mainly depends on the rainwater. Environment and humans have always been interdependent. Any change pertaining to the environment directly affects the human life in that region. This interdependence is vital and critical in the areas with scarce resources. When the human race, which was predominantly reliant on the natural vegetations and forests for their survival, started cutting the forests down in fragile efforts of meeting their needs faster, the whole thing boomeranged on them badly. The adverse effects that hit the flora and fauna became evident with time. Felling of trees has loosened the soil. Productive soil and its important contents of minerals get washed away with the rainwaters, leaving the land behind totally barren and infertile. Now the habitants have to travel far for their daily and domestic use of water. Infertility of soils and consequently the drop in agriculture have forced many people to immigrate to the cities and towns for better opportunities and work.
The land now can take only one crop a year. After sowing kodo, kutaki, ramtila and paddy, such crops in the soil, we migrate to other cities in search of labor. The children then have to miss their schools.
The Watershed Organization Trust with other NGOs has begun the work of watershed development in the eastern districts of Madhya Pradesh like Jabalpur, Mandla and Katni. The Watershed Organization Trust, that is WOTR, is a leading organization in the field of watershed development. The organization is active in other states of India too, like Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Jharkhand. A watershed can be defined as the drainage basin of a catchment area of a particular stream or river, including glaciers. Simply put, it refers to the area above any point on a defined drainage channel which feeds water into it. The water is then made to flow through a single exit point in form of gully and streams. This is a scientific method that makes the water seep into the soil, which increases the moisture and increases the underground water level and productivity. The project is for the people and their development, in which a community works together to identify its expansion needs, organize them as per priorities, and chalk out its own development program. WOTR takes up the vital role of providing all possible help to make the process simpler.
The role of WOTR has been that of a facilitator. WOTR helps the village, assisting NGOs financially and technically. WOTR has taught us the way to run the project successfully in the village. In order to lead the village to a successful path, it is first essential to make the villagers efficient. Following this procedure, we have started to work efficiently in the village.
हमारे यहाँ के काम की शुरुआत हुई थी पहले तो हमारे यहाँ महामाया संस्था
Anil ji from the Mahamaya Sanstha visited our village and aware that Watershed Development program in our village is the only mode to achieve total development of the village. After a thorough discussion over it, in the village meeting, it was decided to undertake the project. Many natives complained of being daily wage laborers and their inability to participate in the Shramadan phase of the project. But after persuasion from the elderly and respectable gentlemen, however, they agreed to join hands in order to develop our own land and help ourselves in the long run. Harishi from the WOTR, who soon visited us, insisted that we should once visit Darebadi village in Maharashtra to see what a revolution this project has brought to the village.
तो फिर उन लोग बोले थे कि नहीं वहाँ चलना है महाराष्ट्र
यहाँ से महाराष्ट्र दरेवाड़ा गए.
We had an exposure visit to the Darewadi village in Maharashtra, where we were exposed to the work of watershed development and water conservation. We were enlightened by the same and got to learn many things like the way to grow crops during insufficient water and low rains. We also decided to implement the similar kind of work at our village. After returning back to our village, we gathered the Gram Sabha and convinced the people about the work at Darewadi. The villagers also agreed to take the work in progress. Initially, we started with 4 days per person for the Shramadan, but eventually realized that the effort had to be amplified. We then took another meeting and convinced more people to join in.
The technical treatments like continuous contour trenches, that is CCT, water absorption trench, that is VAT, stone bunds and tree plantation etc. are undertaken using the ridge to valley concept in watershed development. This helps to reduce the soil erosion and also affects the flowing speed of water.
The work considered from the ridge to the valley decreases the soil erosion and also the flow of water as we move downwards. So we started to work from the ridge. The treatments like water absorption trench, that is VAT, stone bund, gully plug are undertaken.
Prior to the implementation of Wasundhara project, the rains used to wash away the soil, leading to heavy soil erosion, due to which the land was not found suitable for ploughing. But now, due to the implementation of this watershed project, I guess situations will change.
All the planned actions of the project are carried over by the Village Development Committee, that is VDC. It is a working body elected by the people and is mainly responsible for the organization's various events. These events are properly planned and worked out by them. It has 7 to 19 members that belong to a variety of social strata and represent villages from different geographical terrains.
We called the Grama Sabha meeting at the village level, in which the villagers were divided into 4 categories, namely very poor, poor, average and rich class. One member from each of these groups was selected and a committee was formed.
A ward is identified in the village. Each religion, caste, economic class, geological state and both males and females get a representative in the Village Development Committee. From each ward, people elect their own representatives. Reservation for female candidates is taken care of in the same manner.
We usually have a meeting around the 25th or 26th of every month in every ward. Difficulties and adversities faced by the ward are discussed upon and then they are confirmed and forwarded to the meeting of the Village Development Committee that is held on the 5th of every month.
अपना समस्या रखता है सर।
जो वसुंधरा समिति जो
In the village watershed committee, discussions on ban over free grazing and tree cutting were considered. Here it was decided to cut the grass and feed the cattle ourselves to avoid random losses of new, small plants in forest that usually were wasted in cattle stomping. This helped in faster yield of good plants and profits. A fine of rupees 100 has been decided against free grazing and tree cutting.
100 रुपये जुर्माना की तैनात किया गया है सर।
The Village Development Committee shoulders the responsibility of organizing and executing the various programs held under the Watershed project. The members of the committee thus have to be capable and dedicated. They also need to address the post-event challenges and processes. In order to sustain the project, the committee members are provided with various trainings. These trainings help them to further manage the activities on their own.
हमारे पहले प्रशिक्षण ये खामा गांव में हुआ।
The first training was organized in the Khama village. We were introduced to each other and strong team bonding was inducted within us through various games. We were also trained on the process of participatory net planning and measurement of watershed treatments.
नापने का भी काम सिखाया गया।
कार्यकर्ता भी थे।
The members of the village development committee along with the Wasundhara Sevak and the farmer and his wife decided the place where they need to develop farm bunds. The selected place was then marked using hydromarker. The farmer and his wife confirmed the same by signing a documented form. Once an adamant farmer refused to comply with the decision of the village development committee members and Wasundhara Sevak, but later agreed upon the decisions after we moved on to another field for the similar farm bunds by cancelling his field.
Women empowerment and development is an important facet of Water Wasundhara project. It mainly aims at providing equal opportunities to women, developing their leadership qualities and merging them in the mainstream of the society.
समूह इसलिए बनाया गया है. It is practically impossible for a woman to work alone and make money. In times of financial needs, they have to travel about 15 kilometers to the nearing town Silondi. They mortgage the silver with the local money lenders and borrow money on an interest rate of 10%. Now things have changed. Women have formed a self-help group having around 10 women members. These members contribute rupees 25 per month and this money is then loaned to the needy at an interest rate of 2% per month. This makes a vast difference against the percent value borrowed within the group than that borrowed from the village money lender. We have started contributing rupees 30 each as against rupees 10 previously. We feel that with the completion of this watershed work, we may not be able to contribute evenly then. So we have decided to pitch in more, right from now, so as to make good savings for future prospects. This month, we have started with the preparation of paper bags. Till the time Watershed Development program is implemented at our village, money is there in our hands. But once after the conclusion of the same, what can we do? Hence, we have decided to carry this activity as business for future. There are 6 self-help groups in Jangaliya village. One representative from each of these groups was elected towards a joint women committee, that is Sanyukta Mahila Samiti. It is composed of 6 members now. The committee has provided loan for women to start up with the income generation activity like vegetable vendor and running the general stores. We saw the grocery shops doing very well during our visit to Mohapani and Jangaliya village. After much deliberation, I too applied for a loan of rupees 3,800 from the SMS and started my own general store. I sell items locally and also in the weekly market of Kundam village and other villages. At the training program, we were introduced to a lady lawyer who informed and explained us about our rights and responsibilities. We were told that we are entitled to similar privileges as that of men and we should not find ourselves incapable of performing the duties equivalent to men. A doctor had also attended the training and provided us with the knowledge of various common diseases and the remedies found over them.
The watershed treatment starts from ridge to valley. Constructions of gully plug, nala bund, farm bund, etc. are undertaken. The excess amount of water is made to overflow by building stone outlets in the farm. The activities of watershed have helped the villagers to stop the migration and have also provided an opportunity to work in their own village.
अब ये वाटरशेड वसुंधरा है.
The ridge to valley work undertaken in the project has made it possible for the rainwater to flow smoothly and slowly. Crops have yielded better results consequently. Now people don't seem to be migrating to the other cities for work.
और जो आदमी बाहर जाते थे वो अभी विशेषकर बहुत कम जाते हैं.
In the Watershed Development Program, a Social Audit Committee, that is SAC, is also formed along with the Village Development Committee. It comprises of village representatives only who scrutinize the activities undertaken by VDC.
मेरा काम है.
Our Social Audit Committee of 7 members was trained in Jabalpur. We were trained and educated about our functions and responsibilities. It included to keep a check on ongoing activities of the watershed project. We were also informed about grading the work as per the inspection. Now we monitor the project work and cross-check the farmers' satisfaction too. We correct the processes and workers in case they are going wrong. The remuneration muster is also well kept and accounted for by providing a valid receipt to each worker on payment.
The watershed development work has enhanced the water table remarkably. The happy faces of farmers are a testimony to the same. They share their experiences and gains and benefits during the meetings and discussions.
यहाँ का जमीन जो है इतने.
We have got a rocky land here and the fast flowing water used to wash away the fertile soil, resulting in low yield of crops. But now with the farm bunds, soil erosion has tapered down. We can see a positive change in the harvest. If the water level increases, we will further plan to cultivate vegetables, cereals and pulses like wheat and gram. We are totally dependent on agriculture for a living.
वहाँ हरियाली दिखाई देने लगा.
पहले सबसे अधिक.
With no farm bund, we had less crop produce earlier. But the Watershed Development Project has brought a remarkable green revolution and has enhanced our income. Even though we used to plough our fields seasonally, we could not guard it and take good care as we were forced to migrate in search of work in off seasons. If this watershed work at our village is completed successfully, then the villagers can get an opportunity to work in their own village. If the water level remains increased, then we can also undertake a second crop for cultivation.
ये समस्या सर मेरे ही पास.
I live closer to the hill and have my fields on the hill slopes. Earlier, due to excessive rains, often the soil used to erode away and crops used to be shot down. I never had a good harvest season then. Due to implementation of the watershed treatments like CCT and VAT, the soil erosion and runoff has stopped.
The work completed under the watershed project has been satisfactory till now. We have completed the tree plantation and farm bunds in the fields.
In the Water Vasundhara project, emphasis is also given on making the Village Development Committee members aware and sound in the technical, financial and accounting areas of work related to the project. The aim is to enable them to smoothly function their tasks during and after the completion of the project.
हमारी विकास समिति को ट्रेनिंग जो है.
The Village Development Committee VDC was trained regarding the functions and responsibilities to be carried out in the near future. With due discussions, a plan was chalked out to supervise the proceedings of the project, which is a prime task, and to ensure that the work is of a specific quality. To guide the people in case objectives are not achieved to the mark, or to help them is also a responsibility of the committee members. The workers working towards attaining these goals are paid fortnightly through a bank account of the Village Development Committee (VDC) in the village.
People from our Village Development Committee participated in the convention at Gowari Ghat. A total of 8 villages had participated in the same. After the primary introductions, the people were divided in 4 groups. Each group was given a subject for discussion. Our group had to discuss and resolve the issues on free grazing and tree cutting. An agriculture expert who was also visiting the convention introduced us to the modern techniques of agriculture in order to attain optimum produce. The convention highlighted the fact that the benefits, yields and produces of the forest are for the local people, and it is thus their responsibility to safeguard the forests.
The objective of introducing income-generating activities, that is IGA, is to raise the living standards of the poor families who have been deprived of good income resources in the past. If the village as a whole thinks about these underprivileged people during the project period and implementation of activities, it will then be possible to establish an atmosphere of equality amongst the villagers and also ensure fixed income to such families. Sanyukt Mahila Samiti, that is the apex body of the SHGs, has provided loan capital from the revolving fund to such families to start some business of their own.
I used to be a daily wage worker in Jabalpur earlier. I have worked as a tractor driver and also as a farm laborer on others' land. The children at home lacked the right of family attention and bringing up due to my stay in Jabalpur. I wanted to do something of my own that would facilitate me to make my living and be with my family too. The apex body of the self-help group from Umarzar village helped me with a loan of Rs 1500 to start my own poultry. I raised some 400 hens and earned Rs 18,000. I repaid my loan. People from neighboring villages also come to buy my hens at market rate. However, I sell the wholesalers at the newspaper rate. The business is doing well and now I intend to start farming as well.
I have started goat rearing business. I began with 2 goats and have 8 now. Initially, we had to migrate to the neighboring village in search of labor. This migration would affect the education of my school-going children. But now, as this Wasundhara program is implemented in the village, the women have gathered into self-help groups, where I am also a member of this group, and have borrowed a loan of Rs 7,500 from the SMS. I have started a grocery shop. The business is running well. There is no need to migrate elsewhere like before, and so the children's education too is not suffering as before. I go for selling the items from the shop to the neighboring villages. We have purchased some equipments for our fields, 2 goats, a small piece of land, and have also managed to buy some jewelry.
I belong to a poorest family. With a 25% contribution, I was given a total loan of Rs 4,000. I went to Katni for purchasing a sewing machine. I have undertaken a training for tailoring at Silondi and now work as a tailor in my own village.
Before the initiation of watershed development work at our village, I used to migrate to another village in search of work. But after the implementation of Wasundhara project, I have got an opportunity to work in my own village. This project has made me gain much money and have managed to buy a cow and then a motorcycle too. Later, I developed a business of cycle puncture repairs and thought of having my own shop. When I had the plans of expansion working in my mind, I came across a Samyukt Mahila Samiti which is an apex body of the SHGs. This Samiti informed me that with every rupees 25 contribution for a total of rupees 100, loan at the rate of 3% is possible. I now intend to run the shop and would also further decide to take up farming.
और बड़े भी दुकान तो अब आगे क्या खेती बाड़ी से देखो और दुकान चलाओ.
Malnutrition in children is due to a variety of reasons like weak health services, absence of cleanliness, contaminated water, financial crunch, etc. These factors have to be taken into consideration in order to root out the problem of malnutrition. Impoverished families cannot cater to the needs of their children due to meager income.
उमरझर जो एक ऐसा गांव है जो ऊंचाई पे बसा हुआ है पूरी.
Umarzhar is located at a high altitude. The wells and hand pumps in the villages used to go dry in summers. The natives used to face huge water problems during the summer months. Villagers had to fetch water from a lake that was located at a distance of 1 kilometer away from their houses. This lake water was found to be contaminated and dirty, due to which the villagers suffered from diarrhea and vomiting and also loose motions. 13 children died of diarrhea last year. In order to ensure clean water for the village, an open discussion was considered under which it was decided to construct a well near the lake. The excavation of the well was considered under the Wasundhara project, under which the 30% contribution was made by the villager to construct the well. Due to this, the villagers now receive clean water even in the months of summer.
जो तालाब के थोड़ा नजदीक हो जिसमें हमको साफ पानी मिले.
The weight of the children between 0 to 5 years is measured on every 16th of each month. If the child is found undernourished, then it gets a red remark on the health chart, which indicates that the mother has to be advised for nutritious food and maintain good hygiene to gain the health of their children. The mothers are also advised to borrow loans from self-help groups for such requirements. Health camps are conducted here as a part of the Wasundhara project. Women are educated about good health conditions. This has resulted in good progress. Children are taken to the hospital for vaccination and the women for delivery, even if the men in the house refuse. In this rainy season, we are blessed not to have even one patient of malaria at our village.
The information center at Umarzhar village is actually a network of information systems. Information about any problems or laws related to any government department is maintained here. Posters have been designed for the ease of villagers. Self-help groups use this center for their meetings so that women can read other information catalogs too. Information leaflets or material have been provided by Madhya Pradesh Voluntary Health Association. This center is managed by a young native appointed by the Village Development Committee. People can take books to read and return them later. This helps in adding to their general and social knowledge.
The watershed development work initiated from ridge to valley has facilitated the action to resolve the soil erosion and also the runoff of water. These efforts seem to be bearing visible fruits now.
I had started the work of excavation of well in my field. Since I attended the meetings of VDC, I introduced my plan to the VDC and applied for the construction of well in my field. The work was initiated on receiving the approval from the committee. The water level of my well has increased to a satisfactory extent. This is just because of the ridge to valley concept used under watershed treatment. I use this water for irrigation.
The farmers used to face the problem of drinking water for their cattle. A farmer, better known as Sanjariwala, donated his land to construct a pond for this. Though the pond was dug, for nearly 4 years it did not have much water. It failed to accumulate and conserve rainwater. But with the financial and technical help from WOTR, the pond was renovated and you can see for yourself how much water it
आप
has.
देख सकते हैं इस तालाब में कितना पानी है।
वसुंधरा कार्यक्रम
Amongst all eminent activities under the Watershed Development Project, the farm bunds is a prominent one and encompasses approximately 300 hectare land. The construction of gully plugs on hill slopes and stone bund has reduced the soil erosion and helps in producing good fodder for cattle. Because of the ban on free grazing, people cut the grass systematically for fodder, thus avoiding damage to good plants by stomping. The CCT and VAT work at the top of the mountains or hills has helped the water level increase in lower regions. Wells that went dry for nearly 6 months in a year are now full of water throughout the year.
कुओं में भी जल का स्तर अच्छा समझ में आ रहा है।
In the Mahakoshal region, farmers of around 8 villages were following the traditional agricultural methods only. Only one crop could be reaped due to shortage of water. The implementation of new techniques under the watershed project work were involved, which included the use of biofertilizers. Now, all the 8 villages use NADEP and vermicompost. All these experiments have used the seeds from the local villages only and has yielded optimum profits and crop produce.
देखिए सीधा सा समीकरण है,
Healthy and nourishing soil leads to healthy family and consequently healthy nation. Doctors and hospitals cannot be the face of development of any country. Improvement in public health has to begin from ground level only, and that is Mother Earth. It's not that agriculture is primitive, outdated and less profitable activity, but it has to be executed correctly, methodically and technically to achieve optimum results.
विधिवत करा जाए, वैज्ञानिक ढंग से करा जाए उसका।
सर जिस समय बोनी का समय आया था खरीफ का,
Dr. Subedar had visited us during the sowing and planting of seeds. With the traditional style of plowing and sowing, we had limited harvest. Dr. Subedar advised us to plow and sow seeds in a line and to add nourishing factors to the soil for maximum yield. At the actual time of the work, when Doctor visited the fields, he found the seeds densely sowed. He asked us to maintain a distance of 1 feet between 2 plants and also asked us to remove the seeds planted in between. My wife, however, felt that the crops may not mature properly in case of low rainfall. I too was bothered and angered about the same and left the work halfway. On insistence of WOTR staff and Dr. Subedar, I finally removed the extra seeds and maintained a 1 feet distance between plants. We have made a nutrition formula by adding 1 kilo of cow dung, 1 liter of cow urine, 1 kilo neem leaves, 1 kilogram flour and jaggery in 10 liters of water. We call it Amrut Jal. We sprayed it over our crops and have got a lush green harvest as never before.
हमने कभी ऐसा धान देखा भी नहीं था। छटका बोते रहे पूरी।
We always sowed seeds in a dense proximity, so we did not believe in Dr. Subedar's theory of maintaining a 1 foot distance between 2 plants. But now I can see the difference between the sowing done in our traditional style and the style that we followed after doctor's advice. We have more taller, well-spruced plants and I am sure we will have a good harvest this year.
और मुझे अब विश्वास पूरी है कि मतलब फसल अच्छा दूरी मतलब रहने से फसल का।
इसके पहले यहाँ चना आना नहीं होता रहा।
We excavated a well last summer and have sowed gram, which we never had taken as a crop before due to lack of water.
तो पूरे गांव की जब प्लानिंग की गई,
The project involves planning for farmers and the poor people too. Farmers have been provided with farming tools apart from land treatments. Income sources have been made available for the poor people. Farmers with extra land that they do not intend to utilize are convinced to lease it over to the poor for their livelihood. To increase the financial position of the natives, we have introduced them to some small-scale business like hen rearing, grocery shop. Some people have started with a fish rearing at the village pond. Drastically, poor people work as laborers on brick kiln here.
पहले
बाहर जाते थे सर।
Earlier, the wells never provided sufficient water to the villagers for the year. In search of seasonal jobs or some work, we used to travel out of the village. But since the Wasundhara project has started, a well was excavated here, which stores more water that can last long. The work of brick kiln is made available in the village where I too work as a laborer.
Women are provided with seeds from which they raise their own kitchen gardens with vegetables like ladyfinger, cucumber, radish, gourd, etc. are planted. One family planted leafy vegetable called fenugreek. As the yield was high, they also sold it in the market of Jabalpur. The vegetable grown in the kitchen garden are used to feed the children of the house. It is observed that the children are getting proper nutritious food. This has brought a lot of change in the overall health of the kids. One self-help group has been given the responsibility of cooking the midday meal for the village school. They use these fresh kitchen garden vegetables for cooking, and remarkable progress in the health of children is also visible. Earlier, we had to purchase the vegetables from Silondi. As we were provided with the seeds from the project, we started with the plantation of kitchen gardens. The vegetables grown here are used for domestic purpose, as well as we even sell some in the market. We wish to continue with the development of this work in our future too.
Various officials, chiefs, managers and workers from the national and international organizations have visited the villages and have appreciated the efforts of the villagers and also provided valuable and important advice to them. International Chief of Andheri Hilfe-Born, AHB, Mrs. Elvira Grainer has visited the project thrice and has had a direct dialogue with the natives. Mr. Kulandia Raj, Chief from Andheri Trust, Claudia Strapel from BMZ Germany, Mr. Scott of Tovombo Landcare Group Australia, Mr. Sunil Kumar of RBS Foundation, Mr. Crispino Lobo, Managing Trustee of Watershed Organization Trust, and Dr. Marcela D'Souza, Executive Director of Watershed Organization Trust, are other eminent officials who have visited the project place.
We had to migrate for 4 to 6 months to some other village. Due to this reason, my son had to discontinue his school. The Wasundhara project have benefited us with enough employment opportunities, due to which we can now work at our own village. I am happy that now my son can attend the school regularly, as I do not have to travel elsewhere. The migration has reduced. Previously, due to financial shortage, we could not nurse the children during their illness. But now we can provide them good education and medication.
Significant increase in the underground water level was observed, due to which more wells were constructed in the village. These wells have sufficient water that is required for harvesting. This would enable the yield of crops and so the income.
With more water available, we plan to reap wheat and gram from this land.
I had applied to the village watershed committee with a proposal for a well. The application was approved and the work began as I contributed 25% of the total. Water level is increased because of watershed work from ridge to valley. Water percolate in the well. Now the well is full round the year, and now I am thinking of planting vegetables too in addition to the grains.
The Wasundhara project that was initiated in the Jangalia village has reached not only to its development stage but also to many other such villages as inspiration through the Akashvani Jabalpur's Krishi Jagat program that was aired on 22nd September 2009.
महीना आता है हरियाली की पूरी चादर तान के, मानो हम सभी इसी की प्रतीक्षा करते रहते हो। तीज त्योहार की झड़ी जो लग जाती है, सुरम में हरियाली और अपने त्योहारों के लिए प्रसिद्ध है मंडला जिला। तो क्यों ना चलें इसी जिले के जंगलिया गांव। हमने कहा था ना 30 त्योहार, तो देखिए देवी माँ की भक्ति में लीन हैं यहाँ के लोग।
The actual aim of Wasundhara project is to make the people aware of their own difficulties and problems and help them to resolve their issues through a well-coordinated and executed program. Also, the objective involves making them realize their responsibilities and rights as well. A total of 8 villages from this area have made a remarkable progress in the last 3 years. They have well trained the committees and have generated awareness among the women. These women are now capable of making guidelines and finding solutions to their problems. The Gram Sabha has now become a tradition in the village, which has enabled the villagers find the path of continuous development and progress.
वसुंधरा कार्यक्रम में सर जो काम चल रहा था,
Wasundhara project is providing a good remuneration to the villagers. Under a guaranteed wages scheme, it is observed that an engineer evaluates the performance and makes the payment to the workers. But under the Wasundhara project, the measurement of work and quality is considered and the laborers are paid accordingly. Hence, we feel that the benefits of this program should reach our neighboring villages also.
एक दो गांव बचे हैं, वहां भी ये काम चले तो बहुत अच्छा होगा।
जब से आपकी वसुंधरा कार्यक्रम की
Ever since WOTR has started this project, people have awakened to the fact of contributing their efforts. The activities undertaken by you are commendable. People are ready to work with new techniques of agriculture. People from other villages visit us to witness the change. What appeals me more is the fact that it has empowered the women too.
अभी में महिलाएं भी इतनी जागृत हुई हैं, ये बहुत अच्छा लगा। सास की योजनाओं को लाने के लिए बहुत
People were a bit hesitant in welcoming government schemes to the village, but after the implementation of Wasundhara project, they are questioning that why this kind of project was not initiated by the government. They condemned the fact that trusts like WOTR are the ones who really work towards betterment and the government just rules and has no hand in the development of the village. The Gram Panchayat had to accept the fact and enroll 150 villagers. Village Watershed Committee is capable enough to make the government schemes reach common man righteously. A wave of awareness has taken the villagers in its stride and has brought unanimity in their thought process. They are now geared up to bring the government plans and policies to the village. We should be self-equipped. It is not enough to depend on Sarpanch, that is village head, alone.
तभी सास की योजना का फायदा हमें मिलेगा, ऐसा हमें झलक रहा है।
Year 2010 saw the advent of Rights to Live mission in the 8 project villages to ensure a steady, safe but uninterrupted persistence of the results achieved through these activities. Active members from all these 8 villages were involved in an 11-day workshop called as School of Life. They were trained for their rights, privileges, and also their accountability. They were enlightened about the fact of being united together so as to reach the government or other organizations effectively. The door of this project has closed only after opening a new window towards a new fresh beginning.
इसमें सबसे बड़ा फायदा ये हुआ है,
Whatever government projects were designed for villages, they were only for namesake and never involved the actual natives anytime. But the Wasundhara project, in the true sense, has got the villagers' participation too in each active area, whether it is planning or monitoring. The whole execution is in their hands. When the project was initially implemented, the villagers displayed their dedication by working for 4 days rigorously towards the project. We work only for those who want to help themselves. In this project, it is the farmer or the villager himself who plans and monitors his decided course of action, like which crop to sow, when to do so, how to progress. Wasundhara project has brought revolutionary change in the mindset of people. It has triggered the vivacity to live life. People now want to produce the best harvest. They now have the total faith that they can earn their livelihood in their own village and there is no need to migrate.
और खेत में ये उत्पादन हो रहा है कि वो अपना आजीविका वहीं चला रहे हैं.
इसमें अगर देखा जाए तो पानी की उपलब्धता निश्चित तौर से बढ़ी है क्योंकि
There has been a definite rise in the water availability because of ridge to valley watershed work. New crops can now be taken in for farming and there is a big advancement in the grain produce. 70% migration has condensed because of availability of work in the village itself. It is the responsibility of the Village Development Committee to encourage smooth implementation of the project and activities undertaken forever. The way everything is moving, I am confident that the villagers would sure succeed.
तरह से ये अभी काम कर रहे हैं, ये हमेशा के लिए काम करेंगे.
चलेगा सर, हम हैं इसलिए.
Yes sir, we will do it. We are here to continue this program and we will see to it that this continues the same way. We would work to create more awareness in identifying one's problems and to solve them. We shall do so till each and every villager is capable enough to work out his own problem. We will always be indebted to the Watershed Organization Trust for providing us with their support and we can never thank them enough.
हमारी जो है खुशियाँ उसी के पार छुपे हुए हैं.
The Water Vasundhara project has brought a transformation in the lives of the people. They now seem to be more confident about their work. The rise in the water table and the lush green blanket spread over the fields itself speaks about the dreams being realized. A wave of development and rays of progress are found to be spreading widely in the villages.